Welcome to the channel, and today we're going to edit this photo. I got the question from Louise Yang how I blended my pictures together to create that one good photo from this architecture project. We're going to do a little bit of basics, but then we're going to jump into Photoshop very quickly just to show you how I blended my picture together so that the end result is very good and that we have an even lit photo, even in the artificial light and the exterior light. Okay, so this is the first picture. This is I shot this for the exterior lights. You can see the foreground, and in the trees here above the light is very bright. You can see everything. The second photo, I shot this for the interior lights, so everything around it is a little bit darker. I'm gonna reset this photo together. We're gonna do some basic editing on this, so you can see the interior lights are so hard, and instead of the exterior lights, it's super dark. So we're gonna bring down the highlights around 89, something like this. This looks a little bit natural for the interior lights. I'm gonna bump up the exterior lights, or the natural lights, a little bit, the shadows. We're gonna push the Option key or Alt key. Then we're gonna slide. I don't want to see whites because that's blown out completely. So like this, just that everything is just a little bit black on the edge of going to the white spots. But I just want everything to be black, no overexposed lights. Same for the blacks, the Alt key or Option key. But then we're gonna crush the blacks a little bit, not too much, because for the trees in the foreground we're gonna blend the previous layer over it. And what I always do is I do always like 7 or 8 minus clarity, just to make the photo a little bit softer. That's what I like, it's my taste. And then vibrance, I always put it on 20 or around 20, and then contrast a little bit with this one, not too much, something like this. For the, on the colors, I'm not gonna change too much, because later on, and when we come back in Lightroom, we can change it up. So just gonna do remove chromatic aberration and enable profile correction, and then we are ready to go into Photoshop. You select them both, right click, and then edit in Photoshop and as layers. Okay, we have our 2 layers here. The one, let's call it exterior, and this interior. And then we're gonna blend those pictures together so you can see the difference. So I'm gonna put a black mask over it. I'm gonna push the Command key and I, and then I'm gonna take a brush, the B for brush, something like this, a little bit bigger. Opacity, we're gonna put it at around 30 or 25, something like this. The flow the same, with opacity and flow around 25, around 30. We're not gonna blend too much in one time, so if it's a little bit too much or not enough, it's easier to go back or brush more into it. Gonna push the X key so our layers change from black to white, because we have a black layer and we want to reveal the layer underneath. Now, so I see my hardness is all the way up, and that's not what we want. We want a soft light, something like this. It's not too much, and we're just gonna blend a little bit of the lights back into the trees. I'm gonna change my brush size a little bit. I'm gonna try not to go over the lights because I don't want to get them overexposed. A little bit smaller again. And then I'm gonna blend in here a little bit. It's like the lights are spilling a little bit out of the building into the foreground here. And also here on the roof, we're gonna go a little bit lower with the flow and the opacity because it's a little bit too much. And just blend in a little bit of light so like something like this. And then I want to highlight this branch in the foreground a little bit. Something like that. So I do this super fast here for the video, because I don't want to make it a super long video. But I would do something like this a little bit. You see the difference? So we have a little bit more light around our subject, the building. Now we select them both, right click, merge layers. So now that we blended those two layers together, I'm gonna put some rulers on it, because our building isn't straight. I shot this with my Sigma lens. It's not a tilt shift lens. So I'm gonna command T, then I'm gonna press command again, and then slightly I'm gonna pull on the picture to fix our lines, to make everything straight. I guess it's something like that, a little bit more here now. Just the eye also wants to see a little bit of straight lines. I guess it's something like this. It's something like this. So command S to save our picture, and then it's gonna appear into Lightroom. And here it is. Our picture is in Lightroom. I'm gonna do some small adjustments with the color range tool, because for me it's looking a little bit weird on the computer. So I think it needs a little bit more yellow in the foreground, because we want those lights, it has to look like it's spilling into the foreground. I'm gonna do an extra color range tool here for the interior lights, because they're just a little bit too hard for my taste. Gonna bring down the highlights a little bit. And you're done. That's it. Thank you, Louise Yang, for asking this question, how I blend my pictures together. I hope you guys thought it was interesting, that you learned a little bit about this. I hope you will do something like this also, because it's a lot of fun blending those pictures together to create something very cool. I really like shooting interior lights with exterior light and blend them together afterwards. So it was fun editing this photo again. I hope to see you next week, because I bought a new toy and I want to show you it. Thank you for watching, and bye.